Alright everyone, I'll get that audio fixed in a moment, apologies for that. It does look like we're getting in game as far as I'm aware. Indeed, we have things kicking off here on the T side. Of course, it is going to be the Poles up against Sprout. And while this should be a pretty exciting series coming your way, it looks like a bit of a stack already in place here on this A bomb site as the push comes through. I was going to say a player, I believe, still around the truck there that was alive for a while, but not really able to get anything done, leaving Maze far back on long. In a bit of an awkward position, to say the least.
Really rough one to try and get anything done here. As you said, as Hades takes out Goofy, it goes from bad to worse. Lauenex and Zello between the truck. Trying to swing wide. Key still on this backstabbing mission. Lauenex gets a couple, though, inside of the site. Buys himself a 1v2. Kit to be recovered as well. Needs to spot out these remaining players, though. And with Hades looking to join his teammate inside of these bathrooms, surely going to be absolutely impossible here. And indeed, Key to clean up the final kill. 9 have their first round on the board.
Apologies, just getting myself all sorted. Getting the custom HUD up on my other screen so I can see what's going on. A little bit awkward to cast otherwise. But yeah, solid start from 9, I've got to say. Just kept it quick, kept it pretty straightforward as well. Out mid up towards A, nothing special. And well, nothing special in this round either. Going to be coming in from Sprout as they're forced to take the full eco. Suppose we can have a quick rundown of the VO there. We have Overpass, of course, here being the choice of 9. Ancient up next, picked by Sprout, and if needed, Mirage then as the decider. Which does look like a solid VO all around for these teams. B completely open here, so really no resistance to be put up. There should be a pretty straightforward plan. I think they're taking their time, though. Yeah, we're still outside Monster there, I believe, the bomb.
Yeah, they'll get there eventually. Just mopping up the majority of the kills in towards Con. Refresh last up. Had a flashbang to try and enable his teammates to do something. They took a full eco into this one, Sprout, but nothing really to be found. So at this point, just lurking around heaven, seeing if maybe somebody fancies giving him an exit, but Kylar's not having any of that. Second round on the board. Just the one casualty as well for 9, so not really anything to be too fussed about. The buy will be able to come in, of course, from Sprout, especially with that one kill they got. There will be full rifles across the board, but sacrifices being made. No kits, limited utility, and this is where potentially you could start to see that extra util 9 can bring in. Those MAC-10s able to use a faster pace, try and catch a couple of these rifles off guard early, and really put this CT side under pressure.
This is great. New custom HUD bug, I suppose. The custom radar and the player photos are turning back on at the start of every round, so it's going to be great to turn back off all the time. Yeah, first gun round though, the utility I was going to say is pretty weak for Sprout. They need to just rely on the frags here, and Lauenex pushed up close on Connector, finds 3 of them as they attempted a pretty coordinated push, I've got to say. They tried to move in together through the mini monster and out through Connector with the flashes, and it just backfired big time. Lauenex stands his ground and manages to put them in a very convincing 4-on-2 here. What is an important first gun round as well for Sprout, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any harder. Stair shuts down Hades, it's all onto Minio now, and although this is pretty much the bonus round with the weaker weapons and the Galils and such being kept, they still would have wanted a bit more from it.
Would have hoped to get a little more out of it, certainly, but as Lauenex mops up, it's a very clean start on Overpass from Sprout as they get the rifles out on the CT side of things. And as you said, with no real damage being done, you know, that's half a bonus round, but it goes completely by the wayside. The buy will still be able to come in, but there's going to be sacrifices made. Kylar and Hades both opting to drop down onto the Deagles to try and get something going. In need of a little bit of magic, I think, to get this one on the way now with just a handful of rifles to take to the early fights. And it's going to be Minio charging up Fountain early, looking to take this control. And with Stair playing close, he's going to be caught full blinded by Goofy's flash. An easy opening to find, potentially a very recoverable rifle as well. And that's just the start 9 needed. Hades in a perfect position to capitalize and get himself an M4.
Yeah, solid pickup. Still have Kylar on the Deagle, but overall 9 in a really good position. Heavy stack towards B being called in from Sprout as well. It's still pretty early on in the round, so I'm wondering if this will pay off. It looks like the bomb, at least for now, is favouring in this direction, so they might have made the right call. heavy on the bomb site as well.
Yeah.
I just realized X-ray isn't working. Hopefully I can fix that in a moment. I think that's because of the interactive caster. Lowen X again. This time over towards Monster. Shuts down 2 of them. Smoke called in from a teammate, and they won't even risk taking any more fights. They've already flipped this round back in their favor. They forced the issue, or they forced 9 rather to force the issue, and just continue to frag. Really, there's not much at all being done right now. Barely even any damage being sustained. I think Refresh and Lowen X were damaged down in that initial exchange, not the follow-ups.
Should be in a perfect position now just to clean this one up. Kylar, half HP, isolated. Trying to pull off the impossible, even with that damage, as you said. Launex and Refresh decently tagged up, but in the grand scheme of things, really not going to make too much of a difference. Refresh just shoulder in the angle, 10 seconds left. Kylar wants to go down before time is up, and Launex will quite happily oblige. Still 3 up, though, for the CT side. Another opportunity to start building that bank account, which is so important to get your hands on early on Overpass. If you lose control of that CT economy, it is nightmarish to get there in the long run. So a nice starting position for them as Zello goes for the full investment onto the big green. And 9, well, it's probably not the best round to be investing into that AWP, to be fair, because 9 are going to be coming at it with default Glocks across the board. And if he gets ran down early, he could be in a little bit of trouble.
Just trying to get the command to fix the X-ray here for his guys, so hopefully that'll be sorted soon. Just an issue with whatever, with the interactive caster, the button for it isn't working, so I'll have to do it through the console. Either way, an eco coming in from 9. Bit of a team kill, that's unfortunate. They're missing some of the action there as a weapon eventually does get recovered, and M4 being picked up is not a bad result at all here. If they can get 1 or 2 more kills with this, just make it a costly round at the very least, and that will make it worthwhile, and already some success being found from Key. That's a second weapon now, and with 3 players standing all undamaged, even without the Kevlar, this could still get dangerous.
Certainly could. Even a bomb plant out of this round would be a massive win for 9. 2 rifles recovered at this point. All they have to do is catch a couple of players slightly off guard, and this gets really ugly. Bomb's looking to work its way out towards long. For now, Zello has got that locked down. There's no utility, of course, to flush him off the angle. So he'll have free reign and hits his first shot onto Hades. Minio trying to recover the rifle as Key will deal with the extra support of the AWPer inside of sight. Zello now under pressure. Needs to deal with this close player, dropping all of his util to try and buy time. But Launex wants the flank. And he's going to be warded off that as well by the noise down con, so he'll have to double back. Key deals with the AWPer inside of sight, and suddenly Launex, they should know exactly where he is in this 2-on-1. It's going to be the safe truck plant to give him a little time to work with. Key recovering the AWP. Minio now onto the rifle. As Launex on a fast flank makes his way straight out towards long, and they're not expecting this. Key working his way down the bathrooms. Minio watching for anything up CT. Now they know. Now he's out long. He's dealt with the AWPer. Minio next up, still playing around that truck, just trying to hide, trying to force Launex to bring the fight to him. And as the smoke goes down, it will separate him from the bomb. Tapped. Minio will check, and this is the opportunity around the edge of the smoke. Launex bails his team out of what could have been a disastrous result there. Just about surviving. He'll be able to recover the AWP as well, but hugely expensive against the Glocks.
Yeah, definitely not as smooth as they would have wanted from that. Obviously, all of the success found just helps boost the bio here for 9 as they do get back on the rifles, so they'll be feeling much, much better. AIDS-wise, pretty good for everyone as well. Let's see what the plan is. So far, they've been happy enough to just spread out on the default and see what sort of picks come their way. This time, a little bit more focus, it looks like, towards mid. 2 would have been towards connector as well. Perhaps try and pinch forward. And for now, you do have Steer pushed in towards connector pretty much on his own. His closest assistance being over on A long. So they have a chance to potentially isolate this fight.
Feels dangerous.
Alright.
Kylar trading out. Buys the man advantage at the very least. And again, everything slows down. The run boost out long to try and give Hades a little bit of room to work with. Nothing showing up just yet, however. Now he's posted. Opts to drop back with the flashbang. Again, how do they want to approach this. They've still left that lurk of Key outside of B long. Just holding Monster. Zello is posted close, but it's a tough angle. Down to half HP. He's going to be run down by the rifles. And that leaves Maze solo inside of this A site. Still an opportunity to double back, but it's Maze caught out by Minio as Refresh deals with the flank. And Lauanx, the first man anywhere near this site, but with Util trying to deny his entry. Minio somehow still alive. The molly buying him a little bit more time before finally goes down, and it's all on Hades. A 1v2 to contend with. Lauanx and Refresh looking a group, and there's nothing the AWPer can do. First shot missed. Immediately there with the punishment.
I think I've fixed the X-ray. Well, I have to wait a second till the game actually goes live so I can see everyone. I just had to do it through a console command. No, that one didn't work apparently, so try this. No, it just doesn't want to work. I do not know what's going on right here. Alright, well, we need to throw the game back on for now. Apologies. Lauanx is having a ridiculous performance right now. I think he's 14-2. Getting the hood back up so I can see that. Yeah, indeed, 14-2, followed at closest by 5 there from Maze. So he's having a ridiculous early few rounds. We'll see if he can keep this up. 6 rounds in, and he's almost halfway to the 30 bomb already. It really is the reason that Sprout have got themselves this 4-round streak here despite the early stumble. Oh, I think we may have lost Wolfie. No?
I'm here just about.
You were having a few PC issues earlier, so I wasn't too sure. I was trying to see if there's any other commands I'm missing to fix this X-ray, because right now I don't know what the hell is going on. It should be just working. One player up close in the back rooms.
I'll let you do that. I'll take this one as they're pushing up fast into the A site, and again an isolated fight taken. Stair goes down. Maze, the new boy, under all the pressure of the world inside of this site, trying to buy as much time as he can, and he's found a double out of nothing. Lauanx with the flashes to assist, but as they charge through the smoke, the scales start to tip. Just about bought themselves a 2-on-2, and Zello's continuing. Another big pick onto Key has left Hades somehow in a 1v2. That site looked like it was destined to belong to 9. Instead, Hades left scrambling. Bomb dropped inside of the site itself, and Zello is having none of it. 3 picks. A 5th round on the board. A CT side that is flying at the moment for Sprout. Another opportunity.
Quick console command to hopefully fix it. You can keep on talking.
I'll keep on chatting, shall I? As the Tech 9s come out 4-9. A little bit of a half buy to see what we can achieve. A handful of bits and pieces on the board. Nothing of any real significance, though. And these are the kind of rounds where you've got to have a clear game plan. There's a decent amount of utility invested into it for 9, suggesting they're going to go for a site execute into B. As they group up, indeed, that does look like the cool. Problem for now is that 3 players lie in wait, and Sprout are actually re-aggressing this up short, able to get some map control of their own as the burst outside of Monster comes through, and now it's a charge of Tech 9's RNG into the site. Goofy's got one early. The flash is excellent across the board, and it's 3 kills. Lincoln, you'll miss him. The Mac 10 and the Tech 9 doing all of the heavy lifting, and that round's a goner. One moment, and it's all fallen apart for Sprout. Key deals with Stair, and at this point, Zello, with very limited money, will be looking to save that AWP. Faster pace, working out beautifully for 9. The utility, those little bits of nades and opportunities invested into by that T side, all used to perfect effect. That's exactly what you want on these half buys. Nothing goes to waste. Everything is used as intended. And Zello, well, he's looking to slip the net, but he's been spotted out. Hades will take him down, and that is a beautifully orchestrated round from 9. Sprout busted on the economy. Nothing left whatsoever. And, well, pretty much entirely CT weaponry picked up by 9.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm struggling to get this X-ray working right now. Hang on. I'm gonna go off again. I need to turn on the regular HUD, not the custom HUD, so that I can actually see what is going on with the X-ray. Okay, yeah, it seems to have unbound itself, so that's why part of the reason it says slot 12 or something. Let's
The
try and
classic.
fix that. Where the hell is slot 12? It used to be one of these. It was definitely bound before. So, what, bind slot 12 would be how you do it?
Maybe.
Right. Oh. Let's try. Nope, that didn't work. Alright, so we're going back in for now until I can get another shot at this. It's the worst thing. You see, X-ray was working until the game actually went live when the custom HUD takes over. And yeah.
Well, this round's going to be a fast one. CT's trying to charge on in and see if they can maybe get something going. Knowing that they're disadvantaged in the firepower, trying to just catch the timing, take the fight to the T side.
Forgot to redo the HUD, obviously.
For now, though, 9 happy to sit back on their haunches, wait out this opening aggression after trading for 1. It's a question of how do they want to unknit this defense now, the CT side. Key able to deal with Maze. Zello is still an issue, however. Finally, he's found out as he looks to lurk inside of the playground, hoping that nobody would check. Not to be. And at this point, for Stare and Lau and X, maybe a rifle. Can't imagine they're going to get anything more than that, however, as the T side look to swarm up onto an unoccupied A site, although Launex has made his way here with the Deagle, tucked himself in close truck. Maybe a one and done potentially for the Deagler as the rifles look to swarm, but 9 are taking no chances with this. The util is out, the flash is to support, the site is taken, and the round is as good as done. Stare spotted out top con, no longer interested.
We seem to be stuck on one person as well now. It's like everything wants to work against me. And now it's swapped to another random dead body. What is going on? We do have an observer, and I guess that's not working on my end as well, maybe? Does anything want to
It's looking
cooperate?
better on mine.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on. Everything. The interactive caster doesn't want to cooperate for me. Okay, now it's automatically swapping players. It wasn't doing that a moment ago. Thank you. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a break at the halftime so I can actually try and fix the X-ray. So far, while casting, I can't really do it. I can't see what's going on in my game either because I have no HUD because the custom HUD's overlaid. So, it doesn't help. Ooh, I like this little long stack though. 4 players charge it down, a 5th player ready to send a flash over. Obviously, they don't really have much weaponry to work with, unfortunately, but they might still be able to perhaps steal a weapon if they can get Minio here. If he sticks around, mostly that'll be... Ideally, he takes a kill or 2, maybe backs away, and... Well, yeah, there's 2. Taking a dink. At this point, he falls off. They've already committed out B with the bomb, and... Yeah, there really just shouldn't be too many issues from this point on. Kylar's there to help him out. Never mind, he's actually getting taken down. That's an M4.
Might be able to grab a second here.
Yeah. He's called in for more help, though, so I think it should be okay.
Yeah. Sprout happy with just the one. Happy to save across that one rifle. Gives him something. Launex sets himself up on the cheekiest angle he can find. I think he's actually watching for the boost at the minute. Not to be found, though. A little bit of a handshake to end round 10. And Sprout, again, just struggling after that initial. We talked about building the economy, building your half. They've been broken once, and from there, it's just gone from bad to worse. That one round with the Tech 9s blasting into the B site decimates their finances. Now they've been a couple rounds before they've really been able to buy. And at this point, as the full buy comes out again, 9 only a couple rounds away from a very solid T side.
Alright, I got it on. The X-ray button still wasn't working, but we managed to get it working through the console. Yeah, this is getting rough for Sprout at this point. Don't love the boost. Haven't seen it pay off as much in recent times. I've mostly seen it just allow for the T-side to give away tons of map control, and that's exactly what's happened here with the connector aggression, with a push-up on mid from Zello's up as well. Definitely not ideal. But they are sort of alone on this aggression around the A side of things, so again, potentially you could see the player around connector being caught by the two of them that are working together. No one really watching mid for now, but if that continued, that aggression could also be in trouble. Steer and Refresh, though, they actually call in for assistance here on short. Key a little bit late on his push through. Will at least be good for the trade, but they've lost that connector control. They no longer know what's going on around the A side of things, so that might force them to speed it up a little bit in towards B.
Might force their hand somewhat, and it would be an ideal time to go for it with Lau and X solo. They opt instead to try and wait this one out. Nothing being shown just yet. And it's forcing Sprout to rethink. They gambled a few players down into this lower site. Forced to rethink the play. They've got two here, though, as the hit looks to come in. Util trying to isolate these fights. Launex has dodged it well, however, and with the flashes coming over, he gets a freebie. Allows for that third player to rotate down, and Stare on low HP is just trying to bait the angles here. Should be traded and is. Hades left to try and clutch up. Hits his first, though, and catches Zello on the drop. 15 seconds. Fakes that plant to try and bait the AWP into something. Hades working his way round into water. And it's chaos inside of the site. We're on a dead body, and Zello has landed it. Sprout find the miracle round they needed. A 6th on the board by the skin on their teeth. And something to work with.
Just about edging that, as you said, though, leaves them in a very awkward spot in terms of the rebuy. Only really Refresh can actually get get everything, I suppose, if you're allowing actually get the M4 and body armor at least. But it's certainly going to be limited, and I'd imagine that this pause right now is perhaps a tactical, allowing them to discuss things. I have my fingers crossed. I'm really just hoping it's a tactical, because I'd hate a long old technical pause right now.
Oh, it's a tech.
I heard typing in the chat as I said it, and I was like, oh, it is, isn't it? Hopefully not a long window, if we're lucky. The money, though, is still fantastic for 9, so they're not going to be knocked down anytime soon. They'll have 2 or 3 more rebuys coming through. Probably just one more after this, to be honest. There'd be a couple players then who'd still have some money, but they would finally be stretching the economy thin. But considering, as we said, Sprout's own buy coming into this one right now is going to be pretty limited, there's a chance for 9 to just bounce back and, well, maybe even come out with 9 at the half-time still.
Certainly plenty of opportunity for it. Looks like this one may well be an extended tech. I think all the Danish players are currently having issues with the server, so... Oh, we might be back. Players are currently trying to work out, I think, what the command is to get out of the tech. We have now got there. And as you said, an opportunity for Sprout potentially to bounce back. Just about able to scramble a buy together despite going down to the last man. It's an AWP on Zello and nothing else of real significance. FAMASs are always rough to have to wield. Refresh and Stare at least able to get their rifles, but sacrificing head armor and defuse kits to do so. So a real back of the sofa buy now for Sprout, and one that they need to work here. 4-man stack into that B-bomb site early on, afraid of the fast play we saw previously. HE does good work to start things off, though, and allows a little bit of a reset. Stare is still solo up on this A-bomb site, and surely at some point in the near future, he's going to need a rotation. He's going to need some support as he finds his first pick. He's now isolated inside those long bathrooms, and finally, we see the support line starting to be ran as Launex and Maze are going to try and make their way up. Rash able to pick off the lurker as well. Stare finds another. And suddenly, Sprout are right back in this one. 3 quick picks, a slightly abstract setup, certainly. But one that has worked. In spectacular fashion now for Sprout. 2 on 5. Kylar and Hades. Now, I don't want to be a pessimist, Dean, but I can see Stare moonwalking through the X-ray. So I've got a funny feeling this might have lagged.
Yeah, I seem to have lost my X-ray again. Oh yeah, we dropped out. That's why. I was wondering why I lost my X-ray. This is great. They were saying they had a few issues with the server earlier on. We thought they had that resolved when they reconnected, obviously, but apparently not. I think with that, we're probably going to have to send it over to a break for a moment, guys. So stay with us. We'll be back as soon as they're ready to go again.
Broken bones and a bloodstained flag. Open road and nomadic plans. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Lightning strikes in a quiet town. Bodies fall upon sacred ground. Burn that flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get ya. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. Bringing the firefight, baby. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. Out of the shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, 'cause I got a throne to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you in the slate. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster I came to conquer. smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's set in motion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. I came to conquer.
Faced myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your head, but you don't have to pretend that you will make a change, 'cause you don't wanna change. I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. I wanna walk the sky alone among the stars without forgetting who I was or have to look back that far. And I don't want to forget who, get who. And are you just fucking around in my mind one last time? I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than
never die. Whoa, faded as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die. At the end of the line, the dress
Alright everyone, apologies for what was one of the longer technical issues I've had in quite a while. The server died and then there was something wrong with restoring the server to where it was. So yeah, it was a whole ordeal, but it looks like we are finally ready to get going again. The scoreline, I believe, 7-5. I don't think it was... Sometimes it's a round behind. We'll know for sure at the end of this one, but it's been so long that frankly I forget what scoreline we were at.
Yeah, certainly one of the tougher technicals that we've had to deal with, but we're out of it. We're back into the good stuff now. And back into the rifle rounds as well, which is what we want to see. Back with everyone having everything they want, and Sprout playing a very similar setup to what's netted them a lot of their CT success. A solo A-Lurk initially, this time it's Zello with the AWP. And then as soon as they're sure there's not a rush coming, a second player making his rotation back up in the form of Maze. There's 9 just probing the map at the moment, really giving absolutely nothing away. Zello still posted on this angle, yet to be tested, but the lurking Minio may well give him an opportunity.
Oh yeah, catching themselves a quick kill. May be able to note that there's no other presence at least being shown in this area right now, since they also
What
have
is this
connector
gamble?
control. But the problem is they hadn't kept anyone around B. Yeah, I thought they had one up in heaven at least spotting that monster walkout, but apparently not. They will try and maybe get a boost going back in the spawn. I think that might have been a nade there of their own volition. I'm not too sure. Either way, a kill eventually returned by Hades as the bomb goes down, and as it's going to come into a very difficult retake with limited utility for the CT side. I was going to say it might be tough to get an opening, but it is actually handed to them there. Key goes aggressive off the back of Goofy's flash, and it didn't quite work out.
Big opening, much needed opening. That flank out monster's been replaced by Short, and as Zello picks off a second, Hades and Kyle are doing all they can to hold on to the site, but it's not going to land. Sprout, faith in their retake is repaid as they manage to stick the landing on it. I mean, on first glance, it looked like a horrendous setup there. Pushing through Con right as the B sites hit. Nobody home to defend, as we said, but the retake works out well for Sprout. Finds them an 8th round. Full buy still just about available for the T side of 9. Still will be able to get those rifles available and in play, but again, you start to question how many more opportunities they're going to have. And Sprout, we said if they could run up a 9-10 round CT half, this would be a great result for them.
Yeah, looking very doable. Reminder, they did lose out in that pistol round. It was the initial gun round then when they really got things going, and been in a pretty decent position since, or a small stumble before the whole pause happened. Feels like a different life at this point though. I think they can brush that off. I like this. The quicker approach through Monster. The problem is this time they're running into a 3-man stack that is set up to hold this. A trade back at least from Key. It seems like he would be happy with backing away with the 4-on-4 if possible. Refresh though doesn't let it happen. A really good return. Brought low himself though, so he won't be wanting to take any more risks at this point, but they've got the numbers advantage for the moment, and I think that's all Sprout really want.
Yeah, Refresh freed off the in-game leading, of course, with the new addition of Maze. Gives him a little more freedom to play those slightly more proactive on-the-nose roles. Swinging monster there to find the man advantage. It's still going to be a B-site finish from 9, though, and at the moment, Sprout haven't quite got the read on that situation. It's Maze and Stare set up with a crossfire to try and hold on to this, but as they creep up short, this is going to be a tough old one to hold on to. Kylar deals with Maze's teammate, and there's Minio swinging wide onto the new in-game leader. A 2-man short setup cracks it wide open, and at this point, you start to look over at that CT economy and think this is going to be tough to rebuy into, so Refresh and Zello will have to satisfy themselves with saving the rifles. And it's another hit into that B bomb site where the setup, it's harsh to pick on it this early given how recently the addition of Maze was to this lineup, but that setup just does not work at all.
Oh, a little bit of a strange one. After a decent start as well in the initial pick on mid, and then just being able to trade back and forth. 6th round though for 9. Already, I'd say this is a half that they can come out of sitting pretty happy, but if they can manage to get the 7th round for themselves, it always gives you that bit of extra comfort, especially for if the pistol round goes south. So we'll see how it plays out. The economy anyway, not too bad for Sprout. I mean, there is a FAMAS, and unfortunately, it's on the one player that you probably wouldn't want the weaker weapon on. X has been having an absolutely nasty game. I don't know if he's quite on the same level after sitting around for about an hour, but he was like 14-2 at one point, so we'll see if he's keeping up that level of performance.
Gonna need some players to stand up and be counted for. Aggression up short this time. The call with Zello providing Overwatch for Monster and providing more than that. A welcome pick, and look at the map control the CT side are taking off the back of this. Even pushing up Fountain. Hades able to deal with at least one, but he's losing teammates all the while, and they've completely lost control of Monster. Refresh charging on through has taken huge swathes of map control away, and you can see the response here. They're going to go up Con and try and pincer into Stair. That's now worked, and it leaves X in a very desperate position here. Up tight in the bathroom, still able to grab one before the retreat, however. Surely to be put down after that. He's kept his team a man up for about as long as could be expected. Finally, Hades puts him down, and this is where it gets sketchy again for that CT side. It's a 2-on-2, but they're split between the sites, and Hades is able to catch the aggression freely, and with 45 seconds still left on that clock, it's going to be very tough for Refresh to push his way into any kind of a clutch here. Hades has taken the entire site, pushing down, in fact, to try and flank into B, and oh my goodness. Refresh has let him pass. He hears the footsteps out of heaven. Doesn't know where Minio is. That's the one problem. But as Minio heads out, he'll be caught freely. That's Bomb down in no man's land as into the 1v1. Hades needs another clutch and can't provide. It's 9-6 as we head into the halftime. Sprout rescuing a very solid CT side there.
Yeah, I have no idea if we're meant to be going to a pause or anything, and considering we just had about an hour technical issue, I think we'll sit and wait and see if they're going to take their 3-minute break or not. But a solid recovery, a 9th round for Sprout. They managed to salvage into a half that they can be happy with. 9 are still going to be feeling pretty decent with the 6 as well. But as I said, now this pistol round is going to carry a lot of weight behind it. So neither team wanting to dilly-dally with the start here, I wouldn't imagine. Impressive from X, though, as we were saying, on 21 kills. And that was on the CT side. I want to see if he can keep this up, if he can be the man opening things, sights up now on this on the offense.
If he can, then that'd certainly be welcome for Sprout. As you said, he's having a bit of a blinder here.
Lots of chatting going on. Can you update us on what's being said? Anything important, or are they just getting ready to go?
I think they're just getting ready to go. I'm having a cheeky look. It looks like our observer disconnected and reconnected. So
that's why we lost our observer at the end, was it? I was wondering how we ended up on a dead body.
It looks like it might well have been. So I think we're waiting on the admin team to confirm that they're ready to go, and then we will be back and live.
Oh yeah, he's back in the server now anyway.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I guess we could expand on the entire veto, since we didn't get much of a chance other than, I think, a brief mention about it earlier on. Obviously, this is, as we said, the map choice of 9, so the fact that Sprout have come out with that 9-6 half is decent, but it doesn't really have me thinking that this map is done by any means. 9 will likely have a strong CT side of their own to retaliate with.
You'd certainly expect them to.
Ancient up next is another interesting one, because it's also a map that 9 play pretty large amount of. Stats wise, though, it's not their best at all. They're sitting on about 50% win rate, and that's actually their lowest win rate on any of the maps that they play. They instaban Inferno, so they don't play that at all, and then on everything else other than Anubis, they have really good stats. And while they do also have good stats on Anubis, I'm saying other than that, it's because they've only played it like 3 or 4 times. It's not really something you want to be looking at too much with so few games. Sprout have actually played Anubis 3 times as well, and they haven't had a single win, so they insta-banned that one out.
It's quite a nice situation for Sprout to be in as well. Their old perma being D2, it sort of gives them that flexibility and options. We've seen them of late banning nuke perma early, which is exactly what they did. Opens up the pool a bit more, gives them a little more flexibility. And with that 88% win rate on Ancient, of course, under the old in-game leader, it's always worth mentioning that those kind of changes can have a significant impact. But before we get there, we got to keep focusing on Overpass. A 9-6 lead, a slim one, but a solid one for Sprout. A pistol conversion here would be fantastic for making up that ground early. Nine know that they need to try and put that pressure back on. Julie's brought up into this one, but Stairs already caught the aggressive peek of Hades for a freebie. And that is a big kill to find very early on. You can already see the CTs through Minio scrambling to try and reform some kind of defensive line. And, well, Sprout aren't going to give them anything. No info, no noise. Not even a glimpse of a shoulder as it swings on by. And instead, they're going to group up down towards B. Smoke and 2 flashes to get over the top here will really enable them to enter this site. And it's going to be up to just Goofy and Key to hold this one down. The Julies are going to have to do a lot of work. Goofy is going to need every single bullet he's got, and they've crept so close. Here come the flashes. Goofy now swings, but it's one and done. And Key has retreated to the relative safety of CT, so it'll be a free plant. Can't quite catch the bomb on its transfer, and it's a retake attempt now. No kit in hand for the CT side. A smoke is all they have to work with here, and that's out on Heaven with Minio. Not the ideal position to work with Lauan X now tucked up close under as well. He'll spot them as they drop down into water. He gets one and done, but that's all he needed to do. He's bought space for his teammates, and he's bought double digits for Sprout.
Yeah, and a convincing pistol round as well. That is not good for 9. We said they can play Ancient, of course, which is coming up next, but it's definitely still a much stronger map for Sprout. I think actually has been their strongest map by a decent margin in recent times. To be honest, they don't have that many maps played in comparison to 9, who seem to have been a little bit more active, but yeah, still really, really strong maps there. Results there, rather, on the map, rather. Full eco coming in from 9. It is heavy on the Galils as well for Sprout, so they weren't really taking any risks. If pistols had have been forced up, they wanted to make sure they had the firepower to respond. We know, though, that it is the full eco, so an 11th likely to be found with little resistance, and see what 9 have for us on their CT side coming up in the next round, mostly. Although I like this little stack they've got going around Connector. So close. Maze and Stir were both in this area, considering the peak, and they've decided to fall back around to B, which looks to be the perfect call, really.
Again, making the smart decision. Gonna dodge this enthusiastic stack. I don't mind it when it's the pistol rounds. You know, you need something a little bit special if you're going to get anything done, but unfortunately it does lead to situations like this sometimes where they've just not quite made the right call. Sprout haven't quite walked into it. It'll be a free 11th round here, and honestly, Refresh should go hunting almost immediately. I'd like to see that MAC-10 go for a little bit of a wander, see if it can find some kills. Not a whole lot of value in holding that one through to the next. Lauan X is a bit overextended as well on the AK, so potentially some support needed there. But it is going to be an 11th round regardless for Sprout. And as we said, this is where it starts to get a little nervy for that CT side. 11-6 down as the rifles come out. Already limited opportunities to drag yourselves back into this series. Or at the very least this map, and with Ancient heading up next. It has to start clicking soon for 9 as Maze just starts to deal with the remaining pistols. They're just looking to keep these rifles busy, but it's not quite going to pan out.
Oh, Kyler, I don't think he's going to catch them. No, not quite in time. There's a few tagged players as well, unfortunate. So they don't really get anything from that eco round, but they also didn't put anything into it, so I don't think they'll be too upset by that one. Coming straight onto the M4s, somewhat limited utility. No kit in play either, I don't believe, which could be a bit of an issue if it comes down to the retake. So, yeah, we'll see exactly how this one plays out, with Sprout having basically the bonus round, or, well, yeah, literally having the bonus round here. Not really having to buy anything other than a few nades. They'll have what they need to get a reinvestment in the follow, and I was expecting maybe something a little bit quicker with the Galils, but it does seem like they're happy enough to just spread out in the default and try and get a feel for what sort of CT side 9 are going to be throwing at them. Maybe expecting that aggression as well.
First opportunity 9 have had to really throw something at this round, so understandable that Sprout would expect maybe something tricky. A little bit of a tech to try and disrupt the T side, but without the utility really behind this firepower, you can see 9 are almost forced to respect some of the opening control. Knowing they've only got a handful of smokes and flashes to work with, can't necessarily contest all of these angles in the way you'd like to. And well, Refresh Just wandering out. Monster has grabbed himself a gift. Key goes down for free. And that is worst case scenario, really, for 9. Losing one of those rifles early. Splits the CT defense 2-2 as well. And there's going to be a response. At the very least, Kylar gets one, but it's Stare baited in on the MAC-10 to be traded by Lau and X as Refresh somehow grabs another around the smoke before he goes down on Monster. And suddenly this A site is going to be absolutely under siege. Hades, he's stuck out towards long. His teammate is so far away on this rotation. He's going to have to pull off the hero play here, and they should clear him freely. Indeed, they do. It's Lau and X again going absolutely nuclear as Minio can have no more say in this. It's done.
Yeah, back away and save. And even then, I don't think that's going to do them too much good. No buy going to be coming around that M4. They'll have that and maybe a few pistols at most. And that's if even he can save it, to be honest. It looks like Sprout are happy to go on the hunt. It's not looking too good for 9 here on their own map chase anymore. Things spiraling out of control, really, since that pause. And even the weapon being taken away in the end. Bad time to get hiccups. Won't lie. One positive.
Makes it a little more interesting.
I was going to say, one silver lining is the team effort that we're getting from 9. We just need 1 or 2 players to maybe step it up a notch and kick it into carry mode. They want to start closing in this gap.
Team effort's only going to do you so much when Lau and X is 25 and 10 and is just entering you pretty much everywhere he feels like. Need to see some kind of, as you said, response. Someone to step up and be counted. And, well, an opportunity to do it here. Fast B play. There's Deagles in place to try and find some cheeky headshots. Stare just charging in on that MAC-10 is taken out. Man advantage found. Make it 2 as Key catches a timing. And this starts to get ugly now. Flashes up 3-on-3. Charging through the smoke. Key with a rifle in hand. Hades P250 to back him up. And as Zello takes out at least one, it's still a 1v2, and it's not going to land. The miracle round that 9 desperately needed comes to be. And couldn't have come quicker. It needed to happen. They needed something special, and the Deagles provide it.
Yeah, nice play by Key, and through that smoke as well. Managed to distract the initial players. The flash blinded up a few of them, and even though he came away with, I think, the 2 more himself on that AK, he just done basically all of the work. 12-7, 5 rounds in the difference. It's an opportunity for them to start getting into the game, but they need to also capitalize on that previous round now. Make sure they win this one. And I think they realize that. Calling in a tactical timeout. Only their second one being used as well. May as well. There's not really too much of an economy left over for Sprout. They've put pretty much everything into this round. This is 9's chance to get a hold on the game. If they let this one slip away, then too sure they're going to have a lot of fight left in them.
They've scrapped for themselves into a position where they have this opportunity. And as you said, it's now or never. It really feels like you need to see a response out of these rifles. Hades looking to provide, peeking early. Nothing seen, though. We'll have to back away as the flashes rain over the top from Sprout. And that early control will start to be conceded. As again, it's a relatively passive, safe play from both of these teams in the opening moments. The only real aggression is Key, who's managed to work himself in towards short. Tucked in on the angle now, but will be smoked away from it as Launex looks to take some more control. Dodgy flashbang goes in, as yet unpunished, but that smoke's a little deep. And Key is in the perfect position to capitalize on this. Spots out Launex, misses the shot, but will convert onto Zello. Grabs a double as well, as Lau and X can't do anything about it. Perfect start to this round for 9. A big opportunity now to convert.
Yeah. Not too sure what's going on with the observer. It doesn't actually seem to be our observer, and it's also not auto-director, because auto-director usually spoils all the kills by just swapping to them as they're about to happen. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. CSGO just doesn't want to cooperate with us today.
Yeah, everyone has those days, don't they? Yeah. 9 look to be having one of them, but they've managed to recover it well, and now they've got a good setup to deal with this as well. Kylar puts the smoke down. Stalls the entirety of the Sprout offensive for a little while longer. They're going to have to try and disrespect the smoke, and Kylar is there, ready and waiting to punish. Refresh goes down, the save is called. Can't imagine there's going to be too much of a hunt out of this CT side. Keeping all 5 players alive will be a much bigger bonus to them. But that gap starts to narrow. The economy starts to buckle and bend for Sprout. And we start to really have a game on our hands.
Yeah, looking like it. We actually are seeing a couple AKs, of course, still in this round that could certainly cause some damage. The economy for Stirdo is going to be pretty mismatched. You have May is also looking at the double eco alongside. Not quite, actually, sorry, no, they get the 2400. So they could have gone for the 1 eco, leaving just one player on a weaker weapon, but it seems like they just want to try and force the issue right now, while they know 9 are still in a bit of a fragile position themselves, I suppose. I mean, there's enough money there for a buy on a couple of the players, but if Sprout could shut them down here in this one, then would see 2 or 3 of the players being left on weaker weapons in an attempt to salvage potentially the game at that point, because losing out in a force buy would force them to concede 14.
Big force to pull. Opportunity maybe to just squeeze this one over the line. Counterplay this time has been called in towards Connector. 2 players boosted up. HE through the window doesn't quite connect. A little bit of movement from Refresh gets him out of that slightly precarious situation. And as the CTs retreat back to the relative safety of the site again, there's initial aggression, but very quickly this becomes an incredibly passive setup. Kyle are about as aggressive as it gets inside of the bathrooms. And even he will back away as the flashes over the top allow Sprout to take control, work their way out in towards front bathrooms. It's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse at the moment. It feels like neither team really want to be the ones to make that first mistake, to let it spiral out of control. So everyone playing super passive, super cautiously. And only now are we seeing the re-aggression. It's Kylar working his way out, and it's going to be a monster push as well. Key, with Goofy to back him up, is going to try and spring this trap on a fading smoke. There is bodies here, but it's Deagles, and that makes it awkward. Lauernex with bomb on his back has got to be careful, and he knows it. Shouldering the angle, just popping off a couple of warning shots, but it's not enough. Key catches his support as he looks to fade away to sight. And at this point, it's absolute carnage, because Maze has managed to slip the net here. He's found half a gap on the timing, but he needs his teammates to do more because he's a long way away from home. And as Minio finds the freebie, there's a backstab coming in, and that's bombed down. That's the round. A 9th on the board for 9. Sprout started a flounder on this T side.
Apparently X-Ray turned itself off. I'm literally not even tabbed into my game. I don't know what is going on, man. Give me a second to go ahead and fix that again. Is it just not working? Maybe, oh, I think our observer might have tried to reconnect to see if that'll fix things, and it seems to have messed it up. We will see in a second. Hopefully he's back if that fixes it. Okay, well, I've managed to fix the X-ray anyway, so that's good. Just have to do the 2 commands again. And let's find out if the observer's working properly. That would be a nice little bonus. 3 rounds now in the difference, though. Looks like 9... definitely a little bit more confident on this CT side, and Lauernex hasn't been able to keep up the same sort of pace that he had on that first half, which is fairly understandable, I would say. Oh, this is not looking good for Maze. I was about to say the timing as he looked away. A second follow-up for Key as they shut down all action on this B side of things and take away the little bit of weaponry that was in play. So it looks like this round is smooth sailing, really.
Yeah, this one's a goner. And that gap is slowly but surely narrowing. Nice shot at the very least from Stair. Trying to make something out of this round. But with aggression all around him, a double short play as well. This is going to go wrong very, very shortly. And there you go. Key's the man to put him down. 10th on the board, just 2 rounds in it. And what was an incredibly promising position is very rapidly starting to fall out of control. Sprout just 2 rounds in it. This buy still not great. Still sacrifices being made. An UMP in the hands of Maze. Not an SMG we see particularly often. Going to try and make it work regardless. More aggression this time for the CT side as it's a 3-man play to try and get this initial pick on Hades. He peers over the top. Stare shouldering the angle, but not well enough. Freebie for Hades, and with support on all sides, there's nobody really there for the trade on Sprout. So the man advantage is set. Utility tries to flush some of these angles out, but the CTs, after getting that initial pick, are happy just to fall away from it, knowing they no longer need to be as proactive as they perhaps were. Falling back to the relative safety, gambling a third player down onto this B site, and pop flashing Goofy in beautifully. Very nearly grabs a second.
They're ready for this boost. Never mind, the timing might just worked against them. Either way, Sprout not committing too heavily to it. Yeah, down a player again though in the early stages of the round. Sprout are not having a good time so far on this T side. They've got a ton of map control at the very least though. 9 are happy to give it up. Question is there going to be any mistakes made? Any chances for an opening with only 25 seconds really left on the clock at this point? They need to hurry up and get onto a bomb site, and the bomb is still miles away. Delayed by the molly over on long as well. I mean, at this point, you may have been considering a save, but it looks like they do want to try and charge in, see if they can get this bomb site as quick as possible, and it's going to have to be fast as hell as the smokes go down.
Seconds.
An initial entry from Refresh. All right, they're giving themselves some hope. The wallbang from Hades, can it do anything? No, not quite lining up. So the bomb does get planted just about, but it's a 3-on-3 with the health leaning towards 9, and now the numbers doing so as well. It's all on Lau and X and Zello to try and save this round, and with that potentially today, as things are beginning to spiral out of control, the double peak comes in. It's all on Zello. Low health. 3 players to find a perfect flash as he gets 2 of them. But there's still plenty of time for that defuse to come in for Goofy. But it gets a little bit closer maybe than he would have liked.
Call that a solid effort. Trying to clutch up Zello. Very nearly finding it. Far closer than it could have reasonably been expected to be as well. Pause is called by Sprout, trying to work out where on earth this is going wrong as they look at their economy, look at their situation. Such a promising start, and as soon as the rifles have come out for 9, as soon as that Deagle round managed to spring something, it's just gone from bad to worse on the Sprout side of things. Really struggled to have any impact, getting picked off consistently. Need something to change those fortunes. As you said, Dean, needed a couple of players to step up on the 9 side of things and key. But at the moment, he's filling that gap quite nicely.
Yeah, basically since we said they needed someone, he went ahead and just stepped it up. A little bit quietly as well. I didn't quite notice it until you mentioned.
Silent assassin.
Putting the work in. That's what we need. No one else slacking behind either. Always good to see. Stairs having a pretty rough game for Sprout. Fresh not having his best performance. Neither is Maze. He could do it. Some players stepping up and helping out Lau as well. The Ops though looking for an early exchange. Nothing really being found. I think that's actually Kylar aggressive on mid right now. Yeah. I think he wants to go even more aggressive with this. Pushing through towards the playground. Oh, the timing as the peek comes in on Fountain, catches him with a knife out bouncing around. What the hell was that there? Thankfully Zello is there to get the refrag, but 1-for-1 is the ideal situation there. That could have went a little bit better. The push through monster. It's actually 3 players on the B side of things, I was going to say, so they have to try and get some info about what's going on and find out whether it was the full A push or not. And, well, that entry is going to give them a big flank that might even find the bomb.
Good if the timing is right. Looks like it'll be dodged for now by Maze, but if he doubles back, which he looks to do, he will give Key the opportunity. Can't quite land the shot though, Maze. But a good kill has bought at least half a chance here. He needs his Orpa to go big is the issue, and his Orpa has no idea that Goofy lies in wait out towards water. Free kill. 30 seconds for Maze to try and construct this 1v3, but looking a little lost in the weeds at the moment. A Sprout not finding any kind of consistency with this T side, and now Just trying to swing in on some fights. May's able to grab at least one, but immediately the trade is found. We level things out at 12 apiece. The economy once again starts to bend for Sprout. And 9 at the moment in complete control of this CT side.
Yeah, you can see why they chose Overpass, or perhaps it's Sprout just not really having as strong of a T side here as they would like. Maybe a bit of both, since it has been just a really slow start for them here on this T side, bar the initial few rounds they were able to pick up. The half buy though, some pistols, Kevlar, quite a bit of utility. They've got to have some sort of plan in mind at the very least. Forced to wait out that initial bit of utility tossed down by the CT side. 9 at the very least just kind of showing that presence, putting it in the mind of Sprout that they might be aggressive around the back rooms, that they might be holding these slightly more aggressive angles, and as you can see, it's forcing them to use what is already limited utility and quite a bit of time as well. With that, they've reinforced the A-bomb site.
Really solid position again, as you said. Reinforcements are here. Firepower's available. Utility. Kylar's going to spot this one out. Does have to be a little careful. Again, limited rounds in that A1S, knowing that there's potentially multiple bodies here waiting to spring, and that's exactly what they want. Pop flashes round, but Kylar will escape. And instead, that alleyway opens up for the AWP of Hades, who through the wall tags Lau and X down to 30. As much as it is a 3-on-5 inside of the site, the firepower distinctly favouring this CT side, and with smokes to refresh as well as the execute comes in, they'll lock out this long flank. Suddenly, this attack looks awfully one-dimensional. Hades picks off the sitting duck of Lau and X, and the kills start to flow through for this CT side. May's able to get one stare doing what he can, but very quickly it comes to nothing. It's 13, and for the first time in a long time, it's 9 with the lead. In a fantastic position to close this one out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Sprout have much of a fight at all to give on this T side. This is one of their last attempts now really to get going. They've got everything they could ask for. The op is there, all the utility as well, but right now it just seems like 9 have all kicked it up a notch and it's a bit too much for them to handle. Focus mostly towards A. They do beat the molly this time with a quick smoke going down. Maze catches Kylar. Did he rip his head off while he was in mid-air?
Yep.
Catch it from his perspective, but must have been a nasty shot in order to get that one. Kylar loses his life, and with that full A control, it's pretty much there to be taken for Sprout very early on in the round as well. They decide not to bother with it though. They're going to back around towards B, and there is some aggression coming through on this side of the map right now for 9 that they're going to find a conflict with very soon, which would allow rotations also to begin coming back down depending on how much resistance comes in. The problem is, this monster push could be left open.
Sprout have found their magic opening. Question is, can they convert on it? And as you said, it's the timing of these aggressions now. Pop out a monster, Goofy, tucked on short with a lot to do. He can only find the one, but Lau and X surely won't expect the second on short, and indeed, it's 3-on-3 with players swarming into the site. Hades already dropped into water support from inside a CT, continuing to chip away. The CTs are not going to let this site go quietly. Minio with the nade finds a kill before the trades come through, and it's all on refresh now. Nothing he can do. 9, it looked like their setup might be bypassed, but they call in the reinforcements so swiftly it barely even matters. 14 is on the board again. A half buy on the cards potentially for Sprout, then to play for OT on a map they looked so promising on Dean. It really has just fallen apart at the seams.
Yeah, it really did feel like theirs to lose at the half-time even, and coming out of it then after they got the initial few rounds, but again, we can see why 9 chose this map, and they're also very capable on Ancient, which comes up next. Even if I would say Sprout would be sitting as the slight favourites. How the momentum is shifted, I'm not too sure that would be the case. So nice little leg shot through the smoke, a bit of fortune to damage them up and allow for this B hold, as you can see, to be done a little bit easier, as they just pile through the smoke right into the crosshair of Key and Goofy, or crosshairs rather. 15-12, as you said, the hope was to get something done there before they had to start fighting for the overtime, but it's not going to make too much of a difference either way. They need 3 gun rounds in a row, at least 2. Third one might be against some weaker weapons, but either way, they have a bit of a ways to go here to get to overtime, considering we haven't seen them add anything onto this T side in quite a while.
Certainly a long way from home. In need of a little bit of magic, I think. Somebody But that Maze headshot needs to open up, and this time Zello's got it. Aggression from Hades is dealt with. Man advantage is found, although Lauan X takes a lot of damage inside a con. Down to half as Stair wants to continue hunting this, and it is leaving some isolated fights here for the CT side. Minio, he'll get one, but he's got to double down on this con play, and he does. Both kills. That's the bomb down as well as Kylar continues to pick them off. Refresh, at the very least, will get the backstab in for the first, but he needs so much more where that came from. Kylar dodging the crosshairs for now, will finally be put down. And this is absolute carnage all over the map, just pushing everything at once. And Zello, he has no idea Key is here. Now he does. Whiffed shot. Molly tries to force the fight. Zello's through it. That bomb is still inside a connector. This round is absolute carnage, but a pop flash over the top is surely going to blind Zello. Timing as he grabs the kill to buy a 1v1 up against the low HP of Goofy. This is exactly the kind of clutch that Sprout needs to get themselves kick-started again here on map 1. Bomb to be recovered. Zello with choices to make, sights to hit. Surely will be heard now as Goofy wants to take the fight, but the low HP betrays him. Sprout pull off the miracle round courtesy of a quad kill from Zello.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I thought he was dead before he went down connector initially when the peak came in from the bathrooms, but he manages to pull it back and let that keep Sprout alive. Win this round, and suddenly the economy's on the brink of being destroyed going into that final round for 9, so you'd have a good opportunity at the overtime. The only problem is they only lived with a single player. He didn't manage to recover his op either, so as you can see, a couple of Galils in there, a Deagle on the stair as well. This is not quite the investment you want when you're still fighting for an overtime. Quicker mid play though. The flashes force 9 back from sticking around too aggressive.
Still want to play it though, don't they? Kylar posts, Hades provides Overwatch, but these kind of setups leave gaps, and at the moment Bathrooms is the gap. As the first tag comes through, Hades has to adjust and doesn't, and now it's left his teammate completely out in no man's land here. He tries to play the crosshair discipline, and he gets 3 as his reward. The flash over from Key couldn't have been better timed. 4 on 5 turns 2 on 4 as Maze and Refresh wonder how this one went so wrong. Once again, the longest of flanks coming in from Refresh here as well. How much can he realistically expect to get out of this situation? Needs the timing as he works his way up through heaven. Needs somebody to give this one up. Maze has tucked himself in, does find one. Now Refresh. The snake in the long grass should have a freebie here, and he's going to play it careful. Wants to confirm this kill. Goofy somehow, some way stays alive a moment longer as he locks himself out. 28 seconds. That bomb still in the control of the CT side, and that's the issue now. Kylar and Key, both full HP, both with bomb control. Set in their crossfire. There's the first. It's all on Refresh now. Surely this is game over. He's doing everything he can. He's got the one, but he still needs to isolate these fights. 10 seconds. He has to kill both of them, and there's just no more time. It's all over at the mercy of the clock as 9 will have their map won 16-13. And, well, it's not a scoreline we were expecting, Dean. It's certainly not one we were looking at when we got through that first half, but that CT side was just electric from 9.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it looked like Sprout had things pretty much ready to go. They needed 1 or 2 more of the crucial gun rounds, and it almost would have put them over the finish line already, but unfortunately they just couldn't get it done. Lauan X, after having a great first half and